And I wanted to spend a couple minutes talking about this book, Eddie's Week by Patrick Dean. Patrick Dean is a cartoonist out of Georgia, and a few years ago he was diagnosed with ALS, and this past week his family set up a GoFundMe. Apparently he's receiving 24-hour hospice care, and if anyone knows or familiar with what ALS does to the body, then you know that it just robs so much. But about a year ago, Patrick Dean had this published by Birdcage Bottom Books, Eddie's Week. And this is one of my favorite books from 2020. It's basically the story about Eddie, our protagonist, and he's got a week off of work, and he's just planning to chill out, and things get weird. When I first got this book, I was reading like maybe the first 10% of it or so, and I was like, I'm not sure how this all fits. What's the idea here? Whatever. But then about, I would say maybe 20% in, everything starts clicking. Everything starts building upon itself. And what you realize is that he's been like world building, but doing it with a little bit of a quirky, odd sensibility. And I would say that is a good definition for this book. It's quirky, but it's not quirky just to be quirky. It's quirky, but it's really a world like our own, but not so much like our own. It's a little bit of a odd world, but it's not, but it's so close to ours that it's believable. It's like this little fine balance that he found. So Eddie ends up meeting these characters, and he starts getting involved, and then there's other things that go on. And then what you find out later on, as I said, he's world building. Things that occur here are going to relate to things that are here, but you're not going to realize it until you get further in the book. And then about halfway through the book is just, firing on all cylinders, and it's just really hard to put away and put down. It's like I said, it's got a quirky sensibility. The art's a little quirky, but it's well done, good cartooning. It's a funny book. I enjoyed it. And little side note, he has this character here, and I asked him on Facebook, I said, is this supposed to be like a goof on Noah Van Sciver's, stereotypical look with like the mustache and all that? And he's like, no, it's not. I know Noah, but it's not. I created this character years ago, but then he said, but now that you've mentioned it, I can't unsee it. So he was a pretty cool guy, pretty receptive to the fans. And then when he couldn't physically draw anymore, he was using eye gaze technology, and he was getting pretty deadly with that thing. He was getting some pretty interesting art. Just a testament of what kind of artist he is, that he can't draw physically, so he's going to draw with new technology. He's going to learn on it and master it. And he was still creating great art. So I'm not going to spoil the ending or a lot of the stories here, but this was a fun book. Like I said, it's one of my favorite books from last year. Like I mentioned, his family does have a GoFundMe. I'm going to put a link to that. But if you want to support in a different way, I would say you should pick up this book. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you like books that are a little quirky, but not quirky just to be cool, but quirky, but they're fun. It's like I said, it's this fine balance between quirky and a little weird, but being set in our world and being realistic. Like I said, I enjoy this book a lot. So if you get a chance, pick it up, or help the family out directly. He seemed like a really cool guy. The few times I chatted with him, he's a talented cartoonist. Everybody that I know that's talked to him and known him have said great things about him. So based on everything I've heard this week, I just kind of wanted to mention this book. And like I said, it's one of my favorite books from last year. Anyway, thanks.